has questions or whatever. All right. It says we're live. So we'll see. Open this guy. TikTok live monitor. Yep, that one's live. Double check YouTube.
We're live there.
Yeah, we're there. I don't see any. Now I'm getting an echo from my own stream. We're gonna mute that. That's the worst. Yeah, I don't see a way to change the chat. Let's see.
I don't know, like I said, I've never done it from a computer. I've done it from the phone. So
well, let me just try to. Oh, but you stream from your phone too, right?
well, I stream from the phone. Like right now, I have this phone set up as a camera, and then below it, I have another phone set up running YouTube.
Okay.
And that's the other phone is where I access the settings.
All right, let's get into here. Oh, but you stream from your phone. Okay, that's too much voice. Chat filter, community moderation, live chat, participant mode, anyone, subscribers.
Yep. And I just said it. Yep.
Okay.
And
So
I said
any duration.
Any duration. That way, if they just subscribe right now, they can chat.
All right. So that's why I'm going to keep my phone here. There we go. Man. All right. And we are live on TikTok as well. Oh, hey, Haley. How's it going? Boy. All right. Yeah, if you're tuning in, we've got a few folks in here. If you're tuning in, go ahead and like the stream, comment in the stream, share it out. Let's try to get some more folks in here. We're going to get started in about 7 or 8 minutes, probably. For 7 minutes, 30 seconds, 35 seconds. I don't know. Somewhere in there. We'll keep it real tight. And let us know in the chat if you have any questions for me, any questions for John. I know I haven't introduced John yet, but everyone knows John. Actually, Haley might not know John. But you met him at the Bluegrass Bash.
And I'm horrible with names and stuff. So, like, I can see somebody 100 times and remember, oh, their name starts with G, but I can't remember what their name is.
Yep. That's definitely that. I feel like that's a story of my life too. How? Let's see. Do that. Pop in here. Profile. Da-da. Hey, Mexicali, what's up, man? Yeah, absolutely. Ask the question again. We'll have to figure out like how we do. We may just have to go longer in the future and have like Q&A at some point. Because I like it being interactive, but I also like it having like a format. Because it's ideally it's podcast.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Maybe we go.
And you could set like a certain time at a certain time from then on is questions from the audience,
questions from the chat.
And if it's going to last longer, that's like, okay, well, we might get a part 2.
Yeah.
And then about the guest back some future date or something.
Yeah, that's true. And we could just do a little bit of banter. And then like straight into questions and all. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it, bud.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's a good. We just got a comment from Karma the Cat as well on TikTok that we should spend some time at the end for Q&A. If the questions you all are asking are like in the line of conversation that we're having, which is mostly about it'll be mostly about John's experience. And then if you have questions like along that train, we'll definitely throw them in. I think it's the specific like experience questions, hobby questions that we would just put at the end. But maybe we just try that today. Maybe at 8 o'clock Central. It's about 45 to 50 minutes of narrative discovering about John. Then we'll go into Q&A. And we'll just do it that way. We'll see how it goes. Are you good for an additional 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
An extra hour or more than that, probably not, but
yeah, I'm really trying. Like, I see these guys that have like 2 and 3 hour streams all the time. I'm like, how do you where do you fit anything else in?
yeah.
Like
Well,
your
like
family.
for me, I'm Eastern time, so it's 8 now, and I go to work at 3 a.m. and I signed up to do a live stream with somebody once. I thought it was an hour stream, but apparently it was a 2.5 hour stream, and I didn't know. And
well, we'll get to all the rookie mistakes here in just a little bit.
no, but I'm good for for a couple hours on this one if we need it.
What do you do? What do you do at 3 a.m.? What are you doing?
Driving to work.
Sure. Okay, what's the job? Oh, was that you, Jorge?
So I work in manufacturing facility, and we have a morning meeting before they start the production for the mornings, and so I have about an hour and a half drive on a good day to get there and get my stuff prepared to report out, and then but my job, I deal with all the records and documentation and stuff, not the actual building of the vehicles.
Okay. Man, that is a lot. Yeah, you got some shout out from Silver. Oh, I need to send you the combined chat.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't think to bring another phone to look at TikTok. I only got
Right.
YouTube pulled up.
I have another. So I'll put this in our private chat here. It's in the studio link. You see at the bottom left. Oh, you're doing this on mobile also. Should I just text it to you or put it in Discord?
I can get to this Discord.
All right, I'm gonna add it to Discord.
And
that is it's just a combined chat between YouTube and TikTok. Silver, that's early. That's definitely early. I'm at the age now where I'm not sleeping much past 5 or 5:30. If I'm still in bed, I'm awake and like my back is starting to hurt because that's the age that I'm at as well. But I can't sleep in much more anymore. Hey James, what's going on, man? Good to see you in here. James
so the
from
little
Dad's
icon
Fish Room
tells if they're on YouTube or TikTok. That's nice.
Yeah. I can't figure out how to like get it embedded into the studio. So the only thing that shows in here is YouTube, but I mostly keep that closed anyway. I'm mostly looking at the chat up there. All right, so we're gonna get started here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start the show. We're gonna go till about 8 Central, so 50 minutes or so, and then we're gonna do about 15 or 20 minutes of Q&A with John. So if you've got questions, drop them into the chat, or wait till later to drop them into the chat. Certainly make comments as we go, like and share, subscribe. Did I miss anything? This is like the fourth one, so like I'm still missing things. All right. Okay, cool. John, you good?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put you back in the waiting room. I'll bring you back in a second. All right, he may have responded, but he's muted now. All right. Yeah, definitely like, follow, and share. All right, welcome to Weekly Water Change by AquaFindr, the platform that makes buying and selling fish online safe and secure. This is the show where we talk with real people behind the aquarium hobby, the breeders, the sellers, the shop owners, the hobbyists who live and breathe this stuff. We're going to have fun. We're going to learn along the way. Today's guest is part of each one of those groups. It's John Tyler from Select Pet. John, thanks for being here, man. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Really appreciate you spending some time with us today. And as I said, as part of your intro, you're part of all of those facets of the aquarium hobby, all the way from hobbyist to breeder to seller, buyer, of course, store owner. When you think back to that period, and I do want to get to like how you started and how you ended up here doing this, like I do want to get there. But before we get there, what's your favorite part, your favorite segment of the hobby that you've like taken part in?
I didn't realize I was part of so many different things until you started naming them. Like, yeah, I do that. Yeah, I've done that. But overall, and I'm not sure if this is where you were leading with the question, but and if it's not, just tell me and I'll phrase it differently. But the my favorite part of it all, of everything that I've done or do, is the interaction with other fish keepers, being able to share what I have knowledge wise, fish wise, whatever, with someone else. And I guess that's weird on some levels, that like I will take a trip to, say, Ohio and pick up a fish or a group of fish there just to bring back to Kentucky to get it into the Kentucky area.
Yeah, that is so secret option. I don't know what we were on. E, F, maybe G. Like it sounds like a good spread across all of it, but the piece that you're passionate about is just like making the community accessible.
Yeah.
So whether it's teaching, learning, bringing fish into Kentucky, yeah, that's awesome. So what's the longest drive you've taken just to pick up fish to bring them back into your let's say your club, your local club?
The longest drive that I've taken that I got fish and brought back to the club, or only to pick up fish?
Ooh, let's say only to pick up fish.
Okay, well, that's a little hard because
Let's do both.
anytime I deal with fish, I enjoy it, so I'm doing it for my enjoyment also. So the longest drive that I've done, and I don't know if all South is this way, but we do distance in time.
Yep. Oh yeah.
It took me 14 hours one time, one way, to get to the Keystone Clash, and picked up fish there with intentions of just bringing them back to Kentucky and Tennessee and sharing them with the local clubs. It's not supposed to take that long to get there, but that's
I was just gonna say the Keystone Clash is not 14 hours away.
No, it's supposed to take 9 hours, but apparently that day one of the interstates was closed, and I ended up taking the specific roads in West Virginia where you can see your taillights as you take a curve. You can see your own taillights. So
yeah,
it took 14 hours to get there. But I would say that's the longest that I've actually went. But
you were there. You were there for the convention too.
Yeah, I was there for the convention.
Okay.
And usually it's for swaps and conventions and stuff. It's where I go to pick up the stuff like this.
Yeah.
So
it's not like you're driving like 6 hours just to go to somebody's house.
No, if it's something like that, I'll arrange it when I'm going to like a meeting at a different club or something.
Say you've got like a talk coming up that you've got to give anyway.
Yeah.
So you'll drive a few hours.
Yeah. I'll drive.
I may have to take some fish home from when I come out to your all's club next week or next month.
I drive 3 to 3.5 hours one way to a club and meet up with some people to get fish, and drive 3.5 hours back.
I always forget that you live in Kentucky, and
Yes.
yet you attend like the Music City Club.
Yes.
So you drive like 3 hours every weekend just to that?
Not every weekend, every month.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, when I'm able to
Valid
make
point.
it's 3 to 3.5 hours spent on traffic one way. But then, then again, in Kentucky, the two clubs is the Louisville club, which is 2 hours from me, and
Oh,
then the Lexington club, which is an hour from me. So
yeah, it's always you're driving no matter what.
yeah, if I go to Knoxville, Nashville, Louisville, Lexington, Cincinnati, 2 to 3 hours either way. And that's part of why we started the Lexington one was not everybody can make it to Louisville and get a little
Yeah, you
further south.
needed something in the middle there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, I want to go all the way back to the beginning of John, right? Like, well, I guess not the beginning of John, that would be fairly awkward. Um what got you into the hobby? Like, what was the thing that you were done like testing it out, trying it out, and then you're like, this is the hobby for me? Like, what was that? What was that thing?
Okay. We'll stair step to there. Like growing up, my household has always had fish tanks. It's not been like this, but like we've had a 20-gallon or a 55-gallon with swordtails or an Oscar or something in it. And then growing up, um, my first own tank was a 55-gallon with an Oscar in it, and I did some dumb stuff with that fish. But then in college, I decided I was lazy and didn't want to do a lot of work. And it's like, okay, what can I do that will create its own inventory that I don't have to keep ordering stuff and will never be discontinued? And I was like, gardening or raising fish. But I didn't pursue it at that point. It was a little later. I got the MTS, got the multiple tank syndrome, and had multiple tanks around the house. And going into the pet store, the guy goes, "I love it when you come." The owner of the pet store says, "I love it when you come in. You're paying my rent." And I'm like,
You're like, thanks, bud.
maybe I need to just open my own place.
Oh, okay. So when you first got into this and you started down your multi-tank syndrome journey, we'll call it,
Yes.
and was it a like a very purposeful thing that you were going to like monetize that addiction, or did it just kind of happen eventually that you just discovered that you could monetize that?
No, it was just that I got fish and my Mabuna cichlids couldn't go with my guppies, so I had to get another tank. And then my
They
Grommies
can,
couldn't
just
go
not
with.
for long.
Yeah, they didn't last very long. The Mabunas were okay with it.
They
And
sure were.
it led one to the other that the Grommies needed their own tank and so on. And then after the pet store owner told me that I'm paying all of his bills, I'm like, well, why am I paying his bills and not just getting the wholesale stuff myself? And played with the idea of opening a store for a while. And then when I lost it all in a house fire, I'm like, well, I said, put it back in the house. Let's rebuild and I didn't know it was called a fish room back then, but let's rebuild the fish room in a commercial building. So,
Okay, so house fire.
yes.
You just glossed over so many things. I have
Yeah.
so what does a fish tank look like after a house fire? First off.
Okay. Different ones would be different, I'm sure, because of how they're made and the intensity of fire, whatever. But after the house burnt, because it burned all the way to the ground, we went back a couple of days later when, you could walk on the ground because the ground was so hot from the fire that you couldn't get there. And I'm walking through the ashes and stuff with, I think the insurance adjuster was there. And I'm like, I have no idea what this right here was. And he goes, looks like melted glass and metal. I'm like, oh, that's where my 55-gallon tank was on the wrought iron stand. So it was like the 55 with the metal
Whoa.
stands. It was just a puddle of it wasn't a puddle anymore because it solidified again, but it had been a puddle of melted glass and iron that had just solidified back. Yeah, the firefighters, one of them told me because I went to school with him, and he said that was, at that point, the scariest experience he's had in a house fire. is he walked into a room and I had a 125-gallon tank there, and he said it was boiling, and he heard it popping, and he turned and left the room right before it exploded.
That is mind-boggling. I mean,
Yeah.
that like intellectually, like that fires get that hot, right? Like, I mean, that's how they do like glass sculptures and
Yeah.
all that. But
I didn't think about it till I saw it, and I'm like, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
jeez, did you save one?
Save one
One of the
fish?
melted tanks?
I
Like
don't
a
know.
piece of a melted tank? Okay.
No,
I was trying to figure out like how far you went down that.
no, the 55 one was in the living room, and it was the only one that I could like. I didn't go like digging through the ashes because the fish room itself was in the back of the house, and it was
Okay.
under like 2.5 stories worth of other ash and debris.
Wow. How long ago was that?
21 years,
Oh, so you were just a kid.
2005.
Wow.
And
Wow.
lesson to learn from that: the night before it happened, Easter Sunday night, so the night leading into Easter Sunday, the Saturday night, I'm writing out all the checks and stuff like that, and I said, I hate paying mortgage on this thing. I wish I never had to pay another bill on this place ever again. Watch what you ask for.
That's the monkey's paw curls, right? It's like that type of moment.
Yep.
It's like, well, sure. So you went from how many tanks did you have at that point?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 15. I didn't know what a fish room
Rookie
was.
numbers.
Yeah, we had like a huge walk-in closet that became the fish room, and my wife at the time didn't get to keep any clothes in there because it was where the fish were.
Yeah. So you went from the house fish room to at that point it's like a warehouse, like a storefront. Is that what you did next?
The next thing, it was actual like storefront, glass windows up front and door open Monday through Sunday. Yep.
What was surprising about that to you? Like what was like just going from like maintaining your own thing to like essentially a public place? Like what kind of stands out to you as that was something to learn from that?
Well, the big thing that I learned that doing it or whatever early on was just because I like it doesn't mean everybody else likes it. So I couldn't just carry the fish that I liked if I wanted to sell something.
Yeah, you have to pay the bills with the staples, right?
Yeah.
And then yeah. Well, what fish were you into that wouldn't have sold in a store like that?
Honestly, I don't remember what I was really into back then. I just remember thinking, well, the stuff I've ordered isn't selling, but the stuff that I thought, that I don't like, that's what's selling. So I had to keep a
The boring
variety of stuff. Yeah.
Did you like specialize in any like particular area of freshwater fish, or was it like a good like sampling from kind of everything?
Kind of a little of everything. It was mostly, your common stuff. If we got the big fish or the rare fish or whatever, it would take a lot longer to sell those. But we had all the tetras and guppies and all the staple stuff. We were a full line pet store. We did everything. We didn't do dogs and cats. We sold their accessories and stuff, but we didn't sell the animals themselves. But we had reptiles and birds and small mammals and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, speaking of birds, we'll see if my co-host will come over. This is Ravioli, my co-host. We'll see if he'll be relatively quiet. We'll see. Oh, he's gone.
Just a short cameo.
Yeah, he'll come back. He only likes to poop at the door. I put a little perch up there, so he only poops in like one place.
Oh,
And
that's nice.
Then he'll come back. We'll see.
But yeah, between that and you can't keep retail stock, you can't keep retail tanks like you do a home aquarium. So
wait, what do you mean?
So like in a home aquarium, you may grossly understock it and have a 60-gallon tank with 20 fish in there. But in retail, you need it densely packed so that there's a lot of fish for people to pick from. And you have fish coming and going so often that you need to do more maintenance. You might let it slip or something at home and not do a water change this week or whatever. But at the pet store, I was doing water changes daily.
How much water is that?
A lot.
So I'm imagining you've got all these tanks connected and you have like central filtration, or did
Nope.
you have every tank was individual?
Every tank, and I didn't know any better back then, but I had every tank on a hang-on back filter. So if I was going to do it again now, I would have one tank on a hang-on back, and the rest of them probably sponges.
Wait, why would one of them be hang-on back?
So it's valuable to have a tank running the type of filters that you sell, so that if you're selling hang on the backs and somebody's like, well, I don't know how to work it, you can say, okay, well, here's how you change the cartridge in it. Here's how you do that. So I use those filters a lot for showing, people says my hang on the back's not sucking water. What do I do? I show them how to check the impeller and stuff. So I'd have one for that, but then, I did the math on this room here, and running my tanks that I have now on the sponge filters versus the hang on the backs, I'm saving, I think it's $100 a month, a little over $100 a month in electric.
Oh, because you're running air that's all tied together versus a bunch of impellers.
Yep, and that's
so
not
it's more
counting
of an education piece, less of something you had to do.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of like what fish setup would require a hang-on back.
No, it's just a display to show the customers.
Yeah,
this is how you do this with this, because hang on the back's the most popular filter. That if you can't show them how it works and all that kind of stuff, it's hard to sell it, in my opinion. Like test driving a car.
Yeah, that's a really good tip too, right? To like if you're a store owner, have stuff on display that you can actually show, like how it how it works. That's really cool. So getting started into a store, storefront, new setup, all that, tons of learning.
Yes.
What sticks with you? Like what it like I want to just flat out, like, what's a disaster that happened that you just, that's a good story?
So the first one that comes to mind, it isn't really that big of a
first one.
Yeah.
The first one. Okay, cool.
It isn't really that big of a disaster, but it sticks in my mind because I'm getting everything set up in the store. I don't think we're even open yet. The vendors and stuff are coming by to see this new store and stuff. And one of my reptile distributors shows up, and I'm giving him the tour of the store. I've got him in like the back stock room, showing him where we're stocking stuff and all that. And I hear a waterfall. And I had completely forgotten that I was filling the rack of tanks up in the front room. And I kind of peek my head out of the back room and look up towards the showroom, and I had them triple stacked. So out of the top tank on the very top, it's just like a waterfall just pouring out into the floor. And I turned to him and said, "That's for me." And I just have to go for that, turn it back off.
One moment, please.
Yes. We had that one, and then another one, fish related. Let's go with, I got like a box full of feeder goldfish in. So it's like the full size styro full of the feeder goldfish. And the store is packed full of people. And I'm the only one working. And I'm trying to like get the feeder goldfish dumped into the net so I can dump the net into the tank, and missed the net completely and dumped the whole bag of feeder goldfish all in the carpet of the store, with like 20 people standing around me watching me and thinking, this is the pet store expert that I'm supposed to be buying fish from and asking questions. So
what was the how did the rest of that day go? Right, like I'm imagining the floor all over, you got goldfish that have to be picked up, which they're like, picking up a feeder goldfish off of a carpet is not easy.
No, and when you get like 1,000 of them, it's and everybody's watching you. Like, what are you going to do next? It took a minute
you're
or
just like
two, but yep,
sweeping them into a pile,
scooping them and putting them in the tank. No need for a net at that point, you know.
and you're like, "Don't worry, they're feeder fish.
Fish are a
They're
lot more
feeder."
hardy than you think. I mean, the night that all the plecos jumped out of the tank, they weren't hardy enough to survive all night on the carpet, but
Okay.
I never
Okay.
knew that. I never knew
I
that
have a.
common plecos would jump.
I didn't either.
I got a shipment of, because back then common plecos is what everybody carried. We didn't have the bristle nose and all that, or at least my suppliers didn't have them that I saw. So got a whole shipment of like the little tiny common plecos in,
Yeah.
put them in the tank, went home for the night, came back the next day, every one of them in the floor. And so I call my wholesale, I'm like, what in the world is wrong with your fish? He goes, well, they do that. They're nocturnal fish. You got to think, when we scooped them out, they were in a 2,500-gallon vat.
Oh.
They wake up in the night, they start swimming their figure eights, and now they're in a 20 long and just up and over the top and don't even realize it. And apparently they were, he said they go like in a single file and they just, like birds, just all swarm together, and they all came out and found them in the floor the next morning.
That is surprising, because I know every once in a while I'll walk, because I don't have lids on these tanks, and every once in a while I'll find like a fish wafer,
Mm-hmm.
on the carpet, and then it just goes in the puffer tank.
Now,
But
see, the problem there is I didn't have enough water in the floor. Have I told you the story about the plecos in the floor of this room?
no,
Okay, we'll
no,
lead
go
into that
ahead,
story.
go.
So this tank right here behind me is a 55-gallon tank, and
Yep.
I've got a breeding colony of bristlenose in there. And I was out here I think it was a Saturday, doing my water changes and stuff. And I got the sink in the very back with a python, comes up here, drain it down, fill it up, all that kind of stuff. And I don't remember, it was about noon, and the kids came and yelled for me or something. And I was just going to step in the house for a minute and come back because I was filling this tank. And, you know, I'm forgetful. I get in the house, I forget what I was doing, go about my day and everything. Come back out here the next day at noon, open the door, and something scurries across the floor in front of me. And it's dark, so I'm thinking there's a mouse in the building. And then I realize there's a couple inches of water in the floor. So my brain goes, one of the tanks have busted. And I look up and I see the python hanging out of the top of the tank here, and water just pouring out of
And
it. I'm
it's
like,
still going.
yeah. And then I look down, and then there's an albino pleco that swims in front of me, and they're swimming around the floor in here. I don't have floor drains, so if you hear like a weird like motor type noise every now and then, that's the pump pumping up and across the ceiling and out the drain in the back.
Okay.
So there was nowhere for the water to go, so it just held in the room, and all the plecos were swimming around. And I was able to catch them and get them back in the tank, and the plecos did okay.
That's so. Are you underground?
No.
Oh, it's just leak proof.
Yeah, it's so when I moved into this house, I said I was just going to have one tank. Well, that doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Okay.
And it's almost a tiny house. It's like 700 square feet. And I looked up one day and had 40 tanks in a 700 square feet house. And I'm like, this isn't working. So I had this built. It's a standalone building, metal walls, insulation between the walls, the ceiling, insulation of the floor. I got heat, air. I ran water and electric to it. And the plan was to do half the building with fish and the rest for like storage and stuff. And it's keeps creeping up, and yeah, more and more tanks.
Yeah. How many tanks do you have right now?
I quit counting at 40.
Okay. That might be like the line that's like you have a problem when, right? It's like you have a lot of tanks if you don't even know how many you have anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I quit counting. I counted one day and it was like 42, but then I can add a tank and take a tank away. I'm like, I'm done with this project. Take it down. Well, I want to try this, so I put that one back up. And
Yeah. Man. So what's your favorite tank right now out of all the 44, 45 plus or minus 10 probably?
it kind of switches every minute. Like, um, right now I'm kind of into this one because my super red plecos are breeding in it, and my
They look
pistos
great.
want to breed, but I think that they're not because there's too many of them in there, and the plecos are getting on their nerves. So I need
Oh.
to separate them out.
Yeah, Apistos, they're cave breeders, right? And
Mhm.
then the plecos will eat their eggs, won't they?
Yeah, and the pistos will eat the baby plecos. Don't ask how I know.
Oh, nice. A circle of life.
Yeah. So they're
It's
not supposed to be able to
self-sustaining
breed
with
in the
no
same
output.
tank, but yeah. So the way my
That's
super
fantastic.
reds are doing is I catch them with eggs in the cave, and I go ahead and pull the cave at that point. Even though
Oh, and just like just hatch them somewhere else.
yeah, it looks like I missed some because there's some newly hatched fry in that tank now for a short amount of time till the pistols find them.
Till they get found by the Apistos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So what's your next project? Like what do you want to jump to next?
Um. Well, one thing that I'm working on is adding more tanks over here, and to actually like as sort of a project with breeding, and I think I'm gonna do it with guppies of like put guppies in the first tank for a month, pull them out of that tank, put them in the next tank for a month, and if they drop fry, kind of gauge to see this is what guppies look like at 1 month old. This is what guppies look like at 2 months old, and so on. That, and I'm working with some limias to try to breed different types of limias to get those out.
So I want to go back to the guppies.
Yes.
What's the purpose of moving them tank to tank and just is it just to see the progression?
Yeah, just me being curious or weird or something like that. I want to see like a month old guppy next to a 2 month old guppy and what the size difference is and stuff. Because right now, just colony breeding, there's guppies of all kinds of different sizes in there, and I just going down a rabbit hole one day. I'm like, it'd be neat to see. This one's this big. Is it 2 months or 3 months or I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, the other one you said was limias?
Yep.
I'm not even sure what those are.
So limias are a live bear, really closely related to like the mollies, and they all
Okay.
come from the Caribbean area. There's 4 islands that they all come from. The majority of them come from Hispaniola, so Haiti and Dominican Republic. And like out of the 20 to 22 species, about 17 to 19 of them are on the list of threatened with extinction at some level, either endangered, critically endangered, or something like that. So there's not a whole lot of people aware of them and stuff like that. So that's one of my things, educate people about them, get them out there into hobbyists, and work to see if we can keep them in the hobby and the whole conservation thing.
Yeah, are they a cares fish?
Uh, I think 17 of them are now.
Okay.
I became a squeaky wheel in 2024, and they got added to the list.
We have a question on how you spell limia in the chat.
Limia, and
Okay.
that's the genus name. And so you'll have Limia nigrofasciata or Isla or whatever the species name is.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's so two potential projects on the horizon. Is that how do I ask this question? So is that the type of thing that's keeping you in the hobby, like jumping like project to project, or is it more about the like education community, like the fish themselves? Like what's keeping you
From like quitting
in?
from burnout and stuff.
Yeah,
The clubs.
the clubs.
Yep.
And you're in how many clubs?
This year, I'm officially a member of 2, or maybe
Oh,
3. But I attend 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, depending on schedules. But a couple of them
yeah.
I didn't get to join officially.
Okay. So you mentioned like stopping, like keeping yourself out of burnout. Like,
Mhm.
was there a moment or several moments, maybe after one of those disasters, where you were like, "This is it. I'm done." Like, where you
Oh
almost
yeah,
gave up on it,
I've quit 100 times probably. Um,
but then you're like, "What am I going to do with all these tanks?"
I give them away, sell them
Oh, you
once part
start over every time.
often. Yes. Once I ran them over with a lawnmower. So, um, like I said, when I moved into this house after my divorce, I got rid of all my tanks. I said, I'm just getting one tank and that's going to be it. And it was a 55 gallon. I'm like, what? 20 highs are the same size as a 55, so I could fit those under it.
Hmm.
And I'm not doing anything with that shelf on my entertainment center. I could fit a couple 10 gallons there, and it just leads to the next thing.
And then you build a building.
Yes.
So okay, so you glossed over running over your tanks with a lawnmower.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional. I decided that
Oh,
time I was going to save them, and I put them in a storage building, and it was the
okay.
same one that I parked my lawnmower in. And you get mixed up on which one's the gas and which one's the brake, and you just
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
crash right
Sure.
through a
Yeah,
few.
yeah. I remember I broke a tank just by like tapping it
Hmm.
with like a free weight or something, and
Yep.
it was just gone.
Yep.
But you hit it with a lawnmower. To
Yep.
each their own.
Yeah. One time that I said I would never keep fish again was at that time I just had a saltwater tank, and I set up a saltwater tank and was fixing to go to work, fixing to have the door, and I hear the water running sound again, and I thought something was boiling over on the stove, and find out it's coming from the living room, and the whole back panel of the tank had busted as I'm fixing to go to work. So I'm scooping clownfish out of the floor and everything, trying to put them in a bucket.
And salt does not clean up as quickly, as readily as freshwater.
Right. And I learned the hard way, you can't just dump it in your yard when you do a water change like you can fresh water.
No, no,
Well,
no. That will leave you with
well
bare patches.
yeah, not if you want grass, anyways.
Although that is a good way to like, start over. But you got to wait a season or so before that grass is going to grow back.
Yep. I see in the chat, Muddy Waters says they keep some endangered goodeids. And until I got my building, I was really into goodeids and bringing them to Kentucky and Tennessee and stuff. But unfortunately, they like the cooler water, and it's hard for me to. This building is too well insulated, so it's harder for me to get it down into the cooler temperatures. Um, like it's 82
Mm.
degrees in here right now. So I switched to
Nice
Lemnius.
and warm.
Yeah,
Well,
the fish love it.
it's easier to like climate control the entire room at that
Yeah,
point rather than each individual tank,
yeah.
right?
And summertime I could get it down cooler, but the wintertime I can't yet because the dehumidifier runs too hard and heats everything up. And if it's
Oh.
under 60 degrees outside, my AC compressor won't kick on, so I can't cool it down below whatever the dehumidifier is making it.
Oh yeah. I remember you had trouble over this last winter with that.
Yeah.
Phew.
So
I was gonna ask another question. I don't remember.
I've got plans to put up like one of the greenhouse fans to blow some of the hot air out, but I'm a procrastinator
Yeah.
too.
Oh
So
sure,
it's still on the shelf for been on the shelf for a couple years.
but you have it.
I have it. I know where I'm putting it.
You've got it all worked out. It's just you guys got
But
to do the detail piece, the
yeah,
dotting the T's, crossing the I's.
yeah, and I'm blaming that. I work the long hours. I go to club meetings every weekend and
Yeah,
have
but whose fault
kids and
is
all that.
that?
Yeah. I can go play with
That
fish, or I can cut a hole in the wall and install a fan. I'll go play with fish. I'll do the fan thing later.
So what was your like you've had plenty of disasters.
Mhm.
What is your like crowning achievement so far? I'm assuming you're going to go on and do other things and have another crowning achievement. But like what do you think what do you kind of point back to right now that you're just like, "Yes, I did that."
And it wasn't all me at all, but I'll say starting the Lexington Club, starting it, keeping it going, uh, getting the convention this year, and I can't take credit for the Tennessee clubs, but I had a little finger in getting those up and going. And
Yeah.
I mentioned to somebody, I said, "Have you ever wondered why the Knoxville or the Nashville Club is on the first Saturday, the Knoxville Club is on the second Saturday, and the Lexington Club is on the third Saturday?" I don't know where that worked out at.
Then you don't have to choose which child you like best.
Or if I have to work one weekend, I can make it to a different one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's handy. How old is the Lexington Club now?
We had our first meeting where we actually all got together in January of 2019.
2019.
And
Okay, so 7 years
we
plus.
we got together, and in 2019 we had other clubs tell us we would never make it. We had people show up at our clubs and say we would never make it. And so you tell me I can't do something, it's like, oh yeah,
I'm just gonna do it harder.
watch. Yeah. And then
Uh,
when we got the club going, they're like, yeah, but you'll never be able to host a convention. Okay.
all right. Well, we're gonna do that now.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. I love that your crowning achievement is community based.
Yeah, and that's
And
why it is. It's not just because I like going and getting the deals of those swaps and hearing the speakers and stuff. It's that I know that even though I wasn't the whole thing, that I had a part in bringing that venue or activity or whatever you want to call it to those communities, so the fish keepers in the area can get together and share fish, share knowledge, and know that they're not alone and the weird person in their basement that everybody talks about. We're all
there's
like that.
dozens of us.
Yes.
So what like what's something that you would like to see changed about our hobby?
Um, Probably the top thing is the group of people that think that there's only one way to do something, and that if you're not doing it their way, you're completely wrong, and they will stand on the rooftop and shout that you're wrong, and uh and that type of stuff. It would be better that if people knew there's multiple ways to do the same thing,
Mm.
and what works for me might not work for you. And for example, I lived 30 miles, 30 minutes up the road in a different town before I lived here. And there I couldn't keep guppies alive. Mollies were no problem, but guppies, no matter where I got them from, always died. Come here, I struggle with mollies, but guppies aren't a problem. So the differences in the water from there to here makes a difference in how I can keep fish and what fish I can keep.
Hmm. What do you think like what do you think the best way, like if you saw somebody doing something that you considered wrong or bad practice or whatever, like what's the best way to be a helper in that moment?
Okay. Um, Often they don't listen to me,
Well,
but
I certainly haven't.
the way that so and I'm bad about it with, like, not just hobbyists, but with pet stores and clubs and stuff like that too. That if I see them doing something like, "Ooh, that's going to be an issue down the road," I'll say something like, "I see you're doing this. I've had this problem with doing that. You do what you want to do, but this is how I would do it."
So you're bringing your own experience
Yeah,
into that. You're not necessarily telling them how to do something.
yeah. It I have seen this not work for me and others. It may work for you, but just me giving you my 2 cents that I'm just a nobody. I'm giving you the heads up that I've seen this way of doing it fail. But if that's what you want to do, it's go for it. It's all you. Have fun at it.
W- What is one piece of like common aquarium advice? Like you've had a lot of these conversations. Like what's one piece of common advice that you just flat out just disagree with? Outside of that, there's only one way to do this.
I just absolutely disagree with. Um, I don't know right off. I guess like if I'm trying to grasp at something there, I don't like when the whole mindset of I'm doing this, so this must be okay to do. For example,
Okay. Yeah.
someone says, I keep goldfish with my angelfish, and it's okay to do that because I've been doing it. The fish are healthy and they're doing good, so there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that.
Hmm.
Which, okay, you beat you, but you know, there's different water parameters, there's different temperatures. Both of them are alive now, but they may not get the 40 years that a goldfish is supposed to get. It may get 10 years.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's all I can think of right now. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of other stuff, but my brain turns off when the camera turns on.
Yeah. No, totally fine. So there's a lot of nuance there, though, right? Like parameters overlap, like
Mhm.
temperature and water quality overlaps.
Yeah,
I have goldfish in my pond, but I also have guppies in my pond.
yeah,
I have like Gararufa and Medaka, and I have just like a couple betta fish in my pond right now because those are the only ones that I've bred so far. But
yeah,
like it's a good point that like, just because you can do something doesn't mean it's the right way to do something.
yeah. And I know I said earlier that I didn't like when people say certain things are the right way, but you can do however you want, but don't stand on the hill of this is good for my fish because I'm doing it.
It's a
If people
fine
want to do it,
line
yeah,
between this can be done this way versus this should be done this way versus even they'll survive this way. Kind of the difference between surviving and thriving.
yeah.
Huh.
And I mean,
I
there's a
love that.
lot of misinformation out there that just gets spilled and stuff. Uh, some pet store, like there was a image come up on, I think it's Facebook a few months back, that one of the big box stores had an image that they their little tag they put on the tanks of an Oscar said maximum size 4 inches. So that, yeah, a little
They get
misleading.
4 inches very quick.
Yeah,
Oh, Ravioli's dunking his head in the tank.
it's
He loves
thirsty.
that fish. He loves that fish water. If you could change, and then we'll move into Q&A here
Okay.
in a minute. So if you've got questions, if you're listening and you're in the chat, it looks like the chat is mostly muddy waters at this point. Uh, ask questions in the chat. We'll get to those here in a minute. If you could change one thing about how people buy and sell online, what would that be?
The first thing that comes to mind isn't something that you're looking for because it's not controllable. And that's
Well, let's
just
talk about it. What is it?
the availability of post offices.
Oh gosh.
That, for example, the one here closes at 4 o'clock. I don't get home until 5 or so at the best. So if I need to pick up or drop something off at the post office, it can't happen. So me shipping a fish, I can't do that because I can't, unless I take it to somebody else and have them take it to drop it off at the post office. I can't do that.
Yeah.
And then I can't pick something up from the post office, like a delivery of fish, because they'll be closed. So it would
And
involve
you're not
me
going to be
take,
home anyway, and you don't want it just left on your
yeah.
doorstep.
So to do like a shipment of fish or something like that, I have to take the whole day off work and, miss out on a day of work for whatever I've ordered for fish.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think AquaFindr is a great thing, and wish more people would use that because of knowing that the people there are real, as opposed to like going to like eBay or Amazon where like anybody can just post on and you don't know if what you're trying to get is a scam and do you trust it, and I know that with AquaFindr, the people that are selling there are real people that you're going to get what you're trying to get and count on it.
Checks in the mail, bud. Appreciate that very much. Oh yeah, that's right. You've got your channel. I got mine on for mostly for ravioli. Because he
It's
just
always
ruins
close
my
by
shirts.
because it's great for, I get my hands wet and got to dry them off.
Oh yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for spending the time with us, man. This was a great conversation. I love just like learning more about. I know we've talked about some of this stuff, but I love hearing some of the details in your stories and the journey that you've taken and how spread out you are in the hobby, but still very focused on that community and meeting people where they're at, educating. Just love to see that stuff. It's really great. Let's see. We got a couple questions here. Oh, one from Jason here. So if you were a fish, what fish would you be?
If I was a fish, what fish would I be? The first thing that comes to my mind is a fish that I don't like, but I'm not big into hybrids. But the first fish that, if I have to like real quickly pick one, I'm thinking flowerhorn.
Okay.
Just
Why is
because
that?
flowerhorns, being expensive, are usually well taken care of and kind of babied, and they're often kept by themselves. So I don't have to worry about other fish picking on me and getting on my nerves and aggravating me. That I'm by myself and I'm getting well taken care of. And then the other way, I started thinking, well, maybe I want to just be in a group of guppies and just have everybody, having a big party. So I don't know.
Just Guppy John.
Which way do I swing? Do I want the party or do I just want to be left alone right now?
Jason's response is that you've got issues, bro.
I do have issues.
We have a question here from Muddy Waters. Was your store profitable?
Yes, it was profitable. And stuff that I've learned since then, I could have made it even more profitable. I really enjoyed it. The thing with running the store, though, that you have to understand is not every month is profitable. That, like, let's say February, I may have cleared $11,000. But in May, maybe I'm in the negative $2,000. So you have to kind of not spend your whole 11,000 when you make the big money, and save it for the months that you're low on the funds. And with my store being a full line store, 1 month the snakes may have carried the store and the fish not really selling, and the next month saltwater really pays the bills.
Did you notice that there was a good amount of seasonality?
Yeah. As far as, whoops, kick the camera. As far as like when the store did well and when it didn't, yeah,
Yeah.
the summer months it dropped really low. So I had to like throw some extra events and stuff on, and then the winter months it picked up quite a bit.
And I feel like that is I feel like the in online we're starting to see that like winter is slow, summer is slow. But fall and spring are great, but it's all because of
Mhm.
like shipping and all that.
Temperatures,
Now the
yeah.
southern states do a lot better in the winter. Northern states are doing better in the summer. So it does even out a little bit.
What I noticed in the pet store was during the warm months, people were out at the lake and on their boat and stuff and forgot they had fish. And in the winter months, they're sitting there staring like, oh, he could use a new ornament, or I need to try this new food, or he looks a little sickly. I need to go get some medicine, or he needs a buddy or
Okay.
something. So
Oh, so not only the number, like the amount of sales in the store, but also like what people were buying when.
yeah, yeah. During the summertime, they would come in and get the necessities, the food, water change chemicals and stuff like that. But then
Yeah.
in the cooler months, it was everything. They're buying new setups because they're in the house more, and they're like, I'm bored. I need a tank.
Yeah. That's all I do. Like I don't leave the house anymore. So I'm always like, oh, I need another tank. I need more of this thing. We have a question here. I don't know if he's still on, but Prodigal Aquarist um, asking, and this is Dawn, I believe.
Mhm. Yep.
I noticed when working in a pet shop in the 70s that the tanks with natural crust gravel were by far the most healthy tanks. Is there any logic to that?
Looking for my answer on it.
Or we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
I have
So
some thoughts.
okay. Let's start with your thoughts and see if I'm on the same page.
So I was thinking that because of the nature of gravel, it's going to hold mulm in it, and so it's going to hold nutrients in that better than say sand, because there's not as much space in there to hold nutrients. So as the mulm continues to break down, it releases energy that the plants can soak up through roots.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that also. And I guess part of this leading into this is uh, it did the most healthy tanks, but in comparison to what? If he's comparing it to bare bottom, or if he's comparing it to like the painted gravel that we have in the stores now.
Mm,
One thing that I could see with it is the natural crushed gravel. It's more porous than, say, a bare bottom. There's not the surface area of a gravel, or the painted gravel is
pretty
painted so it's
smooth.
covered, and you don't get the porous surface area that you would for the natural gravel. So it increases your bacteria bed that you can grow with the biological bacteria.
Oh, so it's almost acting like a filtration
Yeah,
or like a
and
catch as
and
well.
I would say back in the '70s, there's a lot more undergravel filters that it's pulling down through the gravel, and
Yeah.
increasing the bacteria load.
Those seem to be making a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah, that, in my opinion, undergrowth filters are great, and they are the victim of their own manufacturers.
All right, say more.
So the manufacturers were making the undergrowth filters, and then they started coming up with the power filters that hang on the backs. There aren't
Okay.
cartridges or components to keep buying every month with an underground filter.
Yep.
So the manufacturers realize we need to put out some negative PR on the underground filters to sell the ones that we can keep making sales every month.
Yep.
And that's they tried to kill their own product so they could sell their new product.
That makes that the logic there tracks. I know Corey has talked about that a little bit as well at the co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. I want to try it. I
Underground
want to
filters?
try it. Yeah, but like from a maintenance perspective, like how do you clean it? You just backflow it
You
and
don't
then
have to
drain
clean
the
underneath
tank.
it.
You just
That's
don't.
no, that's one of the myths that the manufacturers put out, that it's going to get all that nasty mulm underneath it and it's going to harm the fish and stuff, but it doesn't.
Yeah, but that's what you want. You want that
Yeah.
mulm.
And they say you can't grow plants in it. I've got plants down here in my underground filter, and I've got plants up there in that underground filter that you can grow plants in it. The one thing that people misunderstand with cleaning the underground filters is when you gravel vac, you can't do the whole tank. You do it in sections. So this week you do this quarter of the gravel. Next week you do the next quarter. That way you're not attacking all of your bacteria bed all at once. So that's
Oh,
the
right,
hardest
because you're
part of
not
it.
just cleaning gravel, because you're cleaning out the whole filter at that point.
Yeah. So
Huh.
if you go through and you siphon out every bit of your gravel, you can theoretically pull the majority of your bacteria out. So you just do a little portion of it, and then next week you move over and do a little bit more. But as far as like getting underneath it, I mean, if you wanted to, you could, but usually cause more problems trying to pull your plate or send a siphon down your uplift tubes and stuff. And really, you're never going to see it unless you climb under your tank and look up. And
That's true, because it's under the gravel.
yeah, I've done that a few times, and not much point.
Yeah, interesting. Let's see. I see another question from Muddy Waters, but I'm not sure what it's referencing. This is: did you find help from associations or something to help you with logistics and planning? I'm assuming it's back to the fish store conversation.
For the fish store, no. I just kind of winged it. I had been in enough of them that I took what I liked out of other fish stores, took that idea, and used that, and stuff I didn't like. I didn't put in, and then realized why they did it, and then put it in later. For example, I didn't like when I went into some pet stores and they had the snake cages and stuff with locks on them. So
What would you rather have them do? You want them just to not be locked?
yeah, I mean, not locked where the fish or the snakes can't get out, but like they have like actual like combination locks
Okay.
on the latch lids. And I'm like, that looks so low class or whatever, that they got padlocks on all their tanks.
Okay. So
Like,
you're cool with us saying the snakes should stay in their cages,
they
in
need
their
to be
pens.
secured.
You just didn't
But
like seeing the locks.
why do you have to like put a master lock on the tank?
I
And
just, as a shopper, I just need to be. I need to be confident that that snake is staying in that box.
yeah, well, I found out what it was. I never thought about. I had someone steal a $200 snake in their coffee cup. Their partner distracted me in the other part of the store.
Okay.
They went in because I had all the reptiles in their own little room. They went into the reptile room, sipping on a McDonald's coffee cup with a lid on it. They came out sipping on the coffee cup out the door, and checking back after I noticed the $200 snake's gone. Looking back, they had taken this. They had opened the lid of the cage, took the snake, put it in the coffee cup. There's no coffee in there the whole time. Put the lid back on and out the door with it. So that's when I learned. Okay,
Some level of locking would be great.
yeah,
What type of snake was it?
it was a milk snake. I don't remember the specific
Okay.
strain or whatever, but it was a milk snake.
Wow.
Yeah, I would have never. I mean, I don't think like a criminal about stealing stuff and how people steal stuff, but I would never thought about stealing a snake like that. Had somebody walk out with I don't know how they did it and didn't like dance or whatever, but somehow they got a ferret into their clothes and walked out with a ferret just roaming around in their clothes, and nobody noticed.
That okay. Maybe they deserve a ferret at that point.
Yeah,
Wow. Well, do we have any other questions for either for me or for John in the chat before we end things here? Taking a look back, I don't see anything that we missed.
And if you ever need to fill time or whatever, I could do a whole 2-hour show on mistakes I've made.
Perfect. We'll do a part 2. We'll schedule it for a few months out. It'll just it'll just be you. I won't even be here. It'll be I'll come in, I'll introduce you, I'll give you the prompt of tell us about some disasters, and then you can just talk for an hour. That'll be the episode.
I've been in it a while, had quite a few tanks, and if anybody's gonna make a mistake, I'll make the mistake.
Yeah, but it's experience, right?
Yeah,
Like
I was gonna say, hopefully I learned from it and don't do it again.
And somebody else is gonna learn from it as well.
Yeah.
Like now we know that a fish tank will melt in a house fire.
Yeah.
Where else are you gonna learn that stuff? But like right here on this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, I'm gonna call it I'm not gonna say time of death. I guess I just did. 8:12 p.m. Central. Appreciate you being here, John. Appreciate your experience and your passion for learning as well. This has been a lot of fun. I'm excited to go out next month, third Saturday.
Yes.
To go talk about AquaFindr with your club in Lexington. It'll be great. That'll be a lot of fun. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, anytime.
All right, everyone. Have a great night. And you'll be able to find the restreams of this on Apple Podcast and Spotify Podcast because I haven't gotten around to getting it up on Google yet. So that's just where we're at. All right, everyone. Have a great night. Talk with you all later.